Assalamu alaikum students, welcome to History of English Literature, that is 19th century realism to the contemporary time. Students, today our topic is James Joyce. He was born in 1882 and was died in 1941. James Joyce was an Irish novelist, short story writer, poet, teacher, and a literary critic. He contributed to the modernist avant-garde and is regarded as one of the most influential and important authors of the 20th century. Let's start. Joyce had two children, Giorgio and Lucia, with his longtime partner, Nora Beneckel, whom he eventually married. He left Dublin at the age of 22 and he settled for some time in Paris, then in Rome, Trieste, where he made friends with Italo Savevo and Zurich. James Joyce is regarded as one of the most influential and important authors of the 20th century. Joyce is best known for Ulysses, that was published in 1922, a landmark work in which the episodes of Homer's Odyssey are paralleled in a variety of literary styles, most famously Stream of Consciousness. Other well-known works are the short story collection Dubliners, that was published in 1914, and the novels A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, that was published in 1916, and Finnegan's Wake, published in 1939. And his other writings include three books of poetry, a play. He is published letters and occasional journalism. The most important features of Joyce's works are the setting of most of his works is Ireland, especially Dublin. He rebelled against the Catholic Church and all the facts he explored from different point of view simultaneously. He gave greater importance to the inner world of the characters. For him, the time perceived as subjective, and his task was to render life objectively that resulted in isolation and detachment of the artist from society. If we cast a look on evolution of Joyce's style, in his Dubliners, we will find realism, disciplined prose, different point of view, and free direct speech. In A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, there we will find third person narration, minimal dialogue, language and prose used to portray the protagonist's state of mind, and free direct speech. And in Ulysses, there we will find interior monologue with two levels of narration and extreme interior monologue. Students, Dublin is also very important in the works of James Joyce. He was highly impressed and under the control of his land and his city. The Dublin represented by Joyce is not fixed and static. It is the revolutionary montage of Dublins. Through a range of historical juxtapositions and varied styles, the 15 stories of the Dubliners, though set in the same city, are not united by their geography. Each story has a singular location. The evocation of his town in a portrait is deeply influenced by Joyce's prolonged temporal and spatial distance. Dublin is filtered through Stephen's Point, and in Ulysses, Dublin overruns the reader. Epiphany as a literary device, if we see Dubliners, Joyce's aim was to take the reader beyond the usual aspect of life through epiphany. What is epiphany? It is the special moment in which a trivial gesture, an external object, or a banal situation, or an episode lead the character to a sudden self realization about himself or herself, or about the realities surrounding him, her. So we can say that it is a sudden moment of realization about the thinker's personality or the reality surrounding him or her that resulted in understanding the epiphany in each story is the key to the story itself. So students, James Joyce is considered as the contemporary of Virginia Woolf. We can see a similarity between Virginia Woolf and James Joyce and other modernist writers, that they focus on the new style of writing biography and autobiographies. They introduce different literary devices like stream of consciousness, and there are also some uh, terms that, for example, epiphany. Well, students, if you have any question in your mind, you can ask your question at Easy Class platform. Thank you.